Hey, what's going on, everybody? It's Will from SC, and today we're going to introduce to you the best high school football players from each state in the class of 2023. This video is not based on where players are currently playing football, but rather where they spent a majority of their life in the state that we included them in. These rankings are compiled from 247sports.com as well as from each state's official all-state football team. As a reminder, please do not comment you forgot Missouri, for example, as this is the second part. As a reminder, please do not comment you forgot Alabama, for example, as this is the second part of a two-part series. So this video will go from Michigan to Wyoming. If you want to see the videos from states before Michigan, please click the link in the description below to watch the video If you want to watch the first parts of this video, that link will be provided in the description below. Now, let's get into it. From Michigan is five-star quarterback Dante Moore from Detroit. During his junior year at Martin Luther King, he led them to a 13-1 record in a Michigan Division III state championship. He finished the season with 3,047 passing yards, 40 passing touchdowns to just 3 interceptions. This summer, he was named the Elite 11 Finals MVP and has propelled himself up the recruiting rankings. Prior to starting high school, Michigan head coach Jim Harbaugh offered him a scholarship. However, despite training with former Michigan quarterback Devin Gardner throughout his high school career, Dante announced his commitment to play for head coach Dan Lanning at Oregon. Prior to his commitment, he expressed interest in LSU, Arizona State, and Texas A&M. Moore has been the varsity starter at Martin Luther King since his freshman year. The top recruit from Minnesota is edge rusher Jackson Howard from Minneapolis. During his junior year at Robbinsdale Cooper, he helped lead the team to a 9-3 record. Additionally, he played baseball and participated in shot put and discus. Throughout high school, he played both tight end and defensive lineman. However, as he continues to grow and develop, it appears that he has a more ideal frame to play defensive end. He is strong off the ball and is a strong route runner on the offensive side. On the 1st of July, Howard announced his commitment to play for head coach Brian Kelly at LSU. He was also interested in Miami, Michigan, and Minnesota. His father, Willie Howard, is a former NFL defensive lineman who played for the Vikings. In his free time, he enjoys fishing, lifting, and spending time outdoors. Our athlete, son Taron Perkins, is the top recruit from Mississippi. The four-star from Raleigh recorded 74 tackles, 4 sacks, and 2 interceptions, and finished with 112 carries for 1,132 yards and 2 touchdowns. He helped lead the Raleigh Lions to a 10-2 record this past season. In November of 2022, Perkins announced his commitment to play for head coach Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss. He is a strong inside runner who is able to hit the hole quickly and possesses short area explosiveness. He also played receiver and safety, but he will most likely play running back and linebacker in college. From Missouri hails five-star edge rusher Adebayo Adebayo from Kansas City. At North Kansas City this July, Adebayo announced his commitment to play for head coach Brent Venables at Oklahoma. He also competes in powerlifting and track. His brother plays defensive lineman at Northwestern. Despite standing at 6'4", Adebayo has great change of direction and superior agility. He possesses a high football IQ that allows him to recognize plays as they develop. His athleticism draws comparisons to current Baltimore Raven Odafe Oweh. I expect to see him play on Sundays. The top recruit from Montana is 3-star offensive tackle Jacob Anderson from Billings West High School. On June 27th, Anderson announced his commitment to play for head coach Jonathan Smith at Oregon State. He had also expressed interest in other Pac-12 schools such as Utah and Colorado. Standing at 6'6", Jacob is a force on the field and looks to continue his success at the collegiate level. 6'5" athlete Malachi Coleman is the top recruit from Nebraska. At Lincoln East High School, he was a two-way player at wide receiver and defensive end. During his junior year, he finished with 10 receiving touchdowns and an outstanding 33 yards per catch. On the defensive end, he finished with 57 tackles, 7.5 sacks, and 4 forced fumbles. He also plays basketball and runs track with a PR of 10.46 seconds in the 100-meter dash. Malachi is predicted to stay in state and sign with the Nebraska Cornhuskers. However, he has also expressed interest in Ole Miss and USC. He has outstanding athleticism, but will still need time to develop physically. Off the field, Coleman is active as he recently announced he was starting a new fundraiser that will help kids in Nebraska's foster care system. As a foster child himself, he is using the new acceptance of NIL to raise money for the system. 5'10", five-star receiver Zachariah Branch is the top recruit from Nevada. Branch is the 5th-ranked recruit in the entire class. At Bishop Gorman, he helped lead them to the Nevada 5A state championship, finishing with 1,094 receiving yards for 14 touchdowns and 2 punt return touchdowns. Last December, Branch announced his commitment to play for head coach Lincoln Riley at USC. His fastest 100-meter dash is recorded at 10.33 seconds. 24/7 sports analyst Blair Angulo has compared him to Tyreek Hill due to his small stature and elite speed. He is a fluid mover with great ball skills and is a threat down the field. His brother Zion is starting his freshman season at USC this fall. "6'8" offensive tackle Torian Johnson is the top recruit from New Hampshire. This June, Torian committed to play for head coach Jim Mora at the University of Connecticut. He also received offers from Robert Morris and Maine. He is a raw talent with great size and length, but will need time to develop. From the state of New Jersey is 4-star offensive tackle Chase Bassante from Don Bosco Prep. He committed to play for head coach Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M last month. Chase was also considering Rutgers and Notre Dame. He is a physical run blocker with elite strength. He has strong technique and quick feet, which places him among some of the best offensive tackles in the country. He has a great work ethic that has garnered respect from football players and coaches across the country. Not only is he a dominant tackle, he also has impressive speed for someone weighing in at 290 pounds. 6'6" defensive lineman Tyrique Gonzalez is the top recruit from New Mexico. The senior from Carlsbad committed to play for head coach Jed Fish at Arizona this past June. He is also a star basketball player at Carlsbad High School. He has a great frame with lots of potential. It is still unknown whether Arizona will use him on the defensive or offensive line. 6'3" defensive lineman Tyrique Blanding is the top recruit from New York. At Christ the King Regional High School, he finished with 47 solo tackles and 4 sacks. The 3-star committed to play for James Franklin at Penn State this past June. He had accumulated 17 offers, including from Arizona State and Boston College, before deciding to play for the Nittany Lions. The top recruit from North Carolina is 4-star receiver Noah Rogers. At Rollsville High School, Noah finished with 1,432 receiving yards and 22 touchdowns, helping lead them to a North Carolina 4A state semifinal appearance. Rogers committed to play for head coach Ryan Day at Ohio State this past June. Rogers had also been considering NC State, North Carolina, and Clemson. He has been timed at running a sub 4.5 40-yard dash. He is a smooth route runner who is able to get separation easily. The outside receiver possesses a tremendous athletic ability to catch jump balls. Noah is also a strong student and plans on majoring in math in college. 6'5" edge rusher Carter Menz is the top recruit from North Dakota. On June 13th, Menz decided to commit to play for PJ Fleck at the University of Minnesota. He also expressed interest in Nebraska and North Dakota State prior to his commitment. The 3-star from West Fargo finished with 57 total tackles and 11.5 sacks while leading the Mustangs to their first North Dakota Class 2A state championship. He is very disciplined and possesses elite speed and athleticism, and will only continue to develop for the Gophers. 4-star offensive tackle Luke Montgomery is the top player from the state of Ohio. The senior out of Findlay High School helped the Trojans finish with a 9-4 record and a regional semifinal appearance. Montgomery decided to stay in-state and committed to play for head coach Ryan Day at Ohio State this past February. As one of the top offensive tackles in the country, Montgomery had accumulated over 34 offers, including from Alabama, Clemson, Michigan, and Notre Dame. Luke began high school as a tight end and defensive lineman, but eventually moved to offensive tackle. He has tremendous upside and will only continue to develop. 4-star edge rusher Adebayo Joba is the top recruit from Oklahoma. At Norman Christian School, he finished with 56 tackles and 16.5 quarterback sacks last season. Joba announced his commitment to play for head coach Mel Tucker at Michigan State this past July. He chose the Spartans over Alabama and Oklahoma. Joba possesses great overall quickness and is great getting off the ball. He has a strong frame and will only continue to develop. Bai has an interesting story as he moved from Senegal to the United States as an exchange student in the 8th grade. He had dreams of playing in the NBA, but football coaches at his school convinced him to give football a try. The top recruit from Oregon is 6'1" quarterback Sam Levitt. Over the past 2 seasons at Westview, Levitt threw for 3,705 yards and 43 touchdowns to 11 interceptions. Last season, Westview finished 9-2 and reached the second round of the Class 6A playoffs. The 3-star announced his commitment to play for head coach Jake Dickert at Washington State this July. The dual-threat quarterback looks to continue his success at the collegiate level. 4-star offensive tackle and Penn State commit Javen Williams is the top recruit from Pennsylvania. This past February, Javen committed to play for head coach James Franklin at Penn State. He is a well-rounded player standing at 6'4" with lateral quickness and foot speed. He has a strong lower base but must continue to develop his upper body. He is recorded with throwing a personal record of 189 feet in discus and 66 feet and 7.75 inches in shot put. These numbers helped him become the Pennsylvania state champion in their respective events, even setting the new high school record at the Class 2A level. After spending some time researching on the top player from Rhode Island, we were unable to reach a consensus, but we would appreciate it if you would offer suggestions in the comment section below. Top recruit from South Carolina is 6'7" offensive tackle Monroe Freeling. The 4-star is currently uncommitted but appears to be the most interested in Clemson and Notre Dame, but Miami also seems to be in the mix. In addition, Monroe plays basketball where he is known for his high-flying dunks and blocks. He has great technique and impressive foot speed and is ranked among some of the best tackles in his class. Due to his superior physical stature, I wouldn't be too surprised to see him become one of the most dominant tackles in college football. From South Dakota, we have 6'3" quarterback Lincoln Kindl from T.F. Riggs High School. During his junior year, he finished with 4,524 total yards and 49 total touchdowns. He helped Pierre win their 4th and 5th straight titles during his sophomore and junior seasons. The 3-star committed to play for head coach Kalen DeBoer at Washington this past June. Prior to his commitment, he had accumulated 12 offers, including from Wisconsin, Illinois, and Minnesota. The top recruit from Tennessee is 6'5" edge rusher Caleb Herring. At Riverdale High School, Herring has been a force, finishing with 38 tackles for a loss and 9.5 sacks over his past 2 seasons. This past April, Caleb decided to stay in-state and committed to play for head coach Josh Heupel at Tennessee. His brother Elijah is set to begin his freshman season with the Volunteers this fall. He has great speed that allows him to fly off the line of scrimmage. He will only continue to develop his technique and add weight to his frame. 6'2", 270-pound defensive lineman David Hicks is the top recruit from Texas. The 5-star played his junior season at Allen High School, where he finished with 88 tackles, 22 tackles for a loss, and 13 sacks. Although he is currently uncommitted, it appears he is leaning towards playing for Jimbo Fisher at Texas A&M. Oklahoma, Miami, and Michigan State are in the mix as well. Hicks also participates in the basketball and track and field teams, as he is recorded as throwing 157 feet and 10 inches in discus and 54 feet and 2 inches in shot put. He has great athleticism and an explosive first step. His father, David, was a linebacker who spent some time in the NFL before becoming a bodybuilder. Hicks attributes his father to instilling the characteristics it takes to be a leader on and off the field. 6'5" offensive tackle Spencer Fano is the top recruit from Utah. The senior from Timpview High School is currently uncommitted, but it appears that Oregon, BYU, and Utah are among some of his top schools at this time. He has outstanding balance and body control that allows him to prevent defenders from getting by him. Fano will need to continue to develop in the weight room, but he currently possesses a great frame that makes him a force on the field. We were unable to reach a consensus on who the top player in Vermont is. However, if you have any recommendations, we would like you to comment them in the comment section below. From Virginia, we have 6'5" offensive lineman Alex Burke from Broad Run. The four-star announced his commitment to play for head coach James Franklin at Penn State in July of 2021. He currently weighs in at 285 pounds and is a superior wrestler. He won the Class 4A title as a sophomore. Alex is extremely physical with great athleticism that allows him to get inside on defensive linemen. According to his coach, he is a hard worker who is always striving to get better. I expect him to be one of the more dominant linemen in college football. Cornerback Caleb Presley is the top recruit from Washington. While at Rainier Beach this past July, Presley announced his decision to play for head coach Dan Lanning at Oregon. Standing at 6 feet and 180 pounds, he has the ideal size for a cornerback. He's a consistent tackler with playmaking abilities. Some scouts have noted he will need to continue to put on mass and strength, but as soon as he does, he will have long-term NFL draft ceiling. The top recruit from West Virginia is 6'5", 290-pound interior lineman Lathe from Charleston. Lathe announced his commitment to play for head coach Brent Pry at Virginia Tech this past June. He chose VT over West Virginia and UNC. At George Washington High School, he played on both sides of the ball. On defense, he finished his junior year with 49 tackles, 11.5 tackles for a loss, and 6.5 sacks. 6-foot running back Nate White is the top recruit from Wisconsin. This past May, White decided to stay in state and play for head coach Paul Chryst at the University of Wisconsin. He is a slippery and exciting offensive threat who can make defenders miss. He has experience playing Wildcat quarterback during his junior year at Rufus King High School, and he is a great athlete. Last season, he finished with 1,163 yards and 22 touchdowns. In this year's season opener, he carried the ball 10 times for 161 yards and 5 touchdowns in a 57-0 victory. He's also a standout basketball and track athlete, running a 10.9 100-meter dash this past spring. The top recruit from Wyoming is Garrett Schlab. At Cheyenne East, he averaged 37.7 receiving yards per game as a sophomore. Besides being a great route runner, he is also a great blocker. This concludes part 2 of the 2-part series. Let me know who you think will be the best athlete in the class of 2023. Thank you for watching, and feel free to comment any video ideas or suggestions below.